Hey there, I am Dr. Stacy Trekles, and welcome to EDCI 323. I want to take you on a very quick tour of our course so that you can get settled and on your way. The first thing that you're going to see when you log in is announcements. Announcements also come to you in your email, and if you choose, you can also sign up for the Remind texting service. You may already be familiar with this, but it's a super useful and convenient service that lets us send text messages back and forth without having to share each other's personal phone numbers. So it's a really great teacher tool. Teachers all over the country use Remind a lot for parent communication. So it's a great introduction to a teacher tool, which you're going to see a lot of that this semester. We've got a theme going as far as apps that teachers use. So it's a great one. I recommend it, but it's an opt-in. So if you don't feel like getting text or don't want to be able to communicate via text, that's totally fine too. We also have the send email tool, or you can just send an email directly to me. My info is in the syllabus, which we'll turn to momentarily. You can also see that we have virtual office hours. So every Monday from 2 to 5 p.m., which you'll see in the syllabus, I will be online, and sometimes I'll have guest speakers joining me, and you'll know when those happen because I'll let you know. But you can jump in and ask questions or whatever the case may be during that time. I will be available. But it's also a great opportunity to say, get some participation points, hang out, get to know me, whatever the case might be. If you have questions or if you want kind of the lowdown on something, we have the ability to share our screens like this so I can take you on tours of things. And it's a really handy opportunity for that. So Mondays, 2 to 5 p.m., drop in anytime during that time. Virtual office hours are done in a program called WebEx, which is what the university uses for video conferencing. It works pretty well. Most people don't seem to have a hard time getting in. So you can check that out. Note that this doesn't work unless I'm online. So if you try to jump in anytime, then it's not necessarily going to do much. But you don't have to sign into anything, but it just won't do much until I have it open. So Mondays 2 to 5 is when I have it open. If you want it open at another time, though, we can schedule a time to do that, just like as if you were to come in person and meet with me. So under the syllabus and info guide, you'll see more about what's going on with the class and who I am. I've been doing this for a really long time, like crazy long time, and it gets more fun and better every year. I love my job. I love technology in particular, but I teach other stuff too. I'm sure I've seen some of you in other classes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you in some shape or another again and getting to know you. The syllabus, which I'm going to flip to, gives you all the info you could possibly want about this class. I'm not going to read through it all for you, but I suggest that you read it all. But you can see some things like where I'm located, how to get in touch with me, some of the same info that I just shared with you, the Remind link, my email, WebEx. I do get back to you very quickly if you send email. It's a really good way for us to stay in touch. So that's always a good opportunity. If you want to come out and see me, I'm in Westville. That's where my office is located. If you want to meet in Hammond, though, that's totally fine. I have no problem with that. Just let me know a good time, and we'll figure out a time and a place to do that. And as you scroll through this, you're going to see all the standards and all the objectives and things for this course, which are super useful. I certainly won't read them all for you, though. There's a lot here, but then eventually you'll get to things like the grading policy, which is also super useful. It tells you what's happening this semester. We have a number of assignments and a number of video discussions. And so instead of the text discussion board that you might be familiar with, we use a program called Flipgrid, which is extremely popular in schools right now. It is a free service. Everybody has access to it. And it allows us to do video discussion boards. So it's asynchronous video you record, and then somebody watches watches it later, and you record replies, and they can watch them whenever they feel like. It is video based, so if you're not comfortable with the camera, that's totally okay. We'd love to see you, but if there's a time when you're just not feeling it, that's totally fine. Just point your camera at something else. Point it at your dog, point it at the wall, candles. Well, I've seen lots of things, stuffed animals, whatever you prefer. Or you can simply just block it off or leave the camera off while you're recording. As long as we can hear you, that's the most important part. And you can use your phone or your computer or whatever you got handy in order to use Flipgrid. It's very accessible. So hopefully you'll get a lot out of doing that. And in fact, it's even got captions. So if you can't have the sound up while you're listening to other people's, you will be able to watch what they're saying in caption form, which is pretty handy as well. You will see through here all the other stuff that's part of this class. We try not to do discussions late, mostly because nobody will see them. So there's, sort of a disconnect there when we aren't able to all be doing it at the same time. So try not to be late with discussions. Assignments, I will take them late, but they may be penalized. So just be aware of that, and we'll talk through it. If you have a special circumstance, do be sure to let me know what's going on, and we can talk through it. And then, maybe we won't have any problems at all. You just need a couple extra days, whatever it is. We'll work through that. So don't ever hesitate to let me know what's going on when you've got something big happening in your life. Maybe, accidents, all these things, they're awful, but they happen. And so, we work with that. I'm very approachable. Do not hesitate to just shoot me a message and say, hey, this happened, what can we do? And as we work through here, just keep in mind you will need that microphone and camera, which you can do off your phone. It's at a certain point in the semester, we're going to be using a tool, actually this exact same tool I'm using right now. In midterm, we'll use Screencastify, or there's a couple other choices that you can try. That will be something you more or less want to do on your computer rather than your phone, but it would also ask you to have a microphone. So that might be the microphone that's on the earbuds of your headphones that you use with your phone. It could be lots of things. So that's totally accessible. We'll work through that when we get to that point, but I don't think most of us will have a hard time using Screencastify. Most laptops, by the way, already have microphones built in, so even if you've never used it before, it's there. Don't worry about it. There are also all the other policies here. You want to make sure that you're participating, that you're engaged. We do have participation points in this class, which I will wrap this up with, and some other good stuff. So I'd like you to read all this if you can, and be sure to ask if you have any questions about it. Our calendar, you'll see in a couple places. You'll see it at the end of the syllabus. You'll see it over here on the left. In Blackboard, you'll see it down here. And our calendar is sort of our go-to guide. It's actually kind of a handy little interactive version. So if you are Google inclined, or you use your calendaring devices, systems on your phone, you might want to subscribe to this calendar. It's a Google Calendar. It's a great way to make sure you get announcements of when things are coming up, because you always get a little ding a day before something is due. Most things are always due on Sundays in this class. So as you go through the weeks, you'll notice there's something due just about every week. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. More or less, if you can, take it week by week, take it in stride, spend a little time, maybe, 2 or 3 times a week, get in the course, looking around, looking at materials, doing research. You're going to be on track. I would not wait until Sunday night to start a lot of these projects, though, because you will wind up running late and running out of time, and that's not fun. It's stressful. So definitely try not to do that. Try to stay ahead if you can. You can actually work ahead. You can see all the modules up front. If you feel like working ahead, please please feel free to do that. I won't stop you from it. And if you have questions about things that are coming up 3 weeks from now, it's totally fine. we can definitely accommodate you if you'd like to work ahead. All the modules are in weekly modules, and so each week you'll get a short little orientation and sometimes a longer one about each thing coming up. So just be aware of that. And then you're also going to have participation points we submit by the end of the semester. So you can look through that and realize that there's a whole bunch of things that you can do for additional credit. You need 60, but you can get up to 80 points of credit, which means you can get 20 extra points by doing any of the things that are on this list.